In our last couple videos, we reviewed the worldviews of primitive and modern cultures. Now in this one, we're going to look at the advanced psychology of the highly evolved person, and our goal will be to become that ourselves. We want to increase the scope of our worldview, and we want to have a better impact on the world. Now it is time to introduce Tier 2 of Spiral Dynamics. Stage Yellow includes thinkers who rethink what is possible. They combine wisdom from many sources and create new philosophies, systems, and approaches. Alan Watts, Alan Turing, Nikola Tesla, and Max Planck are just a few random famous examples of Yellow, although the majority of Yellow is not famous and aren't acknowledged as high consciousness people due to being nonconformists who don't commonly pander to the public. So with Yellow, you might get somebody who is a loner, or you might get somebody who's a well-known founder of an organization. Stage Yellow people have grown out of the hippie movement, and they've learned to rethink their whole paradigm. The reason Yellow and beyond is considered to be up a whole tier is because it's finally operating on an objective plane. These individuals cherish knowledge, and they willingly seek out multiple perspectives on life and reality, even if these are radically different from their own. They have the intellectual maturity to question the things which most firmly hold as fact. To Stage Red, Stage Yellow people seem stupid. To Stage Blue, Yellow personalities are accused of being heretics. To Orange, they're seen as impractical. To Green, they're seen as unprincipled or even toxic. But in reality, they're none of these things. They're seekers of knowledge. They're innovators and explorers. They're open-minded, fast learners. They're often nonconformists. They tend to make great teachers and leaders when they do end up in these roles, which is not often enough in our current stage blue, orange, green civilization. They understand how to get results, but are hesitant to commit to anything until they've deeply contemplated all of its repercussions. They're hesitant to define a worldview, and they're even hesitant to see themselves as hesitant. They value and seek wisdom. They're special people who have a great energy for exploration, learning, self-transformation, true spirituality, and thinking outside of the box. Stage Yellow initiatives don't always result in a better world, although they have a greater capacity to do great things. Stage Yellow may spend a lifetime without realizing their full potential. They might pursue a bad lead until death. The difference between Yellow and Turquoise is the difference between seeking and finding. Simply understanding this isn't enough to give one a Turquoise worldview. One must first become the Yellow explorer who is fully immersed with discovery. One can't do this from a point of ignorance and must laboriously develop their psychology through study and experience. The Yellow thinker can become endlessly lost in their quest for discovery and understanding, and may never end up reconciling all they discover. In spite of this, it's a monumental step for anyone who wishes to transcend spiral dynamics. It is a position of privilege, potential, and opportunity. It is important for Stage Yellow's members to realize this and to put their freedom to good use. There are certainly highly malicious minds who have achieved a Stage Yellow worldview, and they are particularly problematic for society due to their unique ideals, which are not always aligned with the ideals of the majority of the world. They're really different. They hold the potential to be far more malevolent, subversive, and deceptive in their ways, should they choose to be. Still, the malevolent are extremely rare in Yellow, since this stage does carry a multi-perspectival view on reality, and this usually leads to compassion. But again, some people abuse their stature. Now, someone who has learned enough about the truths of the world becomes free to transcend the spiral. Turquoise minds see the big picture. They've not only discovered profound ideals, but more importantly, they embody these ideals. They're very rare and can connect with individuals from every stage of spiral dynamics. They are profound people who can change lives. This is effectively the final rung on the spiral with regard to society. In stage Turquoise, blame is not an obsession the way it is with all of Tier 1 and even some of Yellow. Everyone exists for a reason, and they're all part of an interconnected whole. Due to their big picture understanding and the transcendence of egoic inclinations, working with others comes naturally for Turquoise. They can seamlessly take many different roles due to their open-mindedness. The Turquoise individual's acts seem mysterious to the general population. Turquoise individuals are incredibly rare because society does nothing to produce them. There are many geniuses of the world who will never transcend even stage Orange because that is as far as intelligence and selfishness can ever get someone. They use their genius to get ahead and either put their feet up and retire on the beach, or they work themselves to death in Orange. Turquoise thinkers, on the other hand, aren't interested in self-promotion for some shallow end, and thusly you won't ever hear about or meet most of them. Every other rung on the spiral is selfish, in some sense, whether it be the promotion of the self's tribe in purple, the survival in beige, the self's power in red, the self's dogma in blue, the self's prosperity in orange, the self's cause in green, and finally the self's awareness in yellow. Turquoise has sorted these things out and is operating at a meta level in the world. 99.999% of the Earth's population will never reach anything close to resembling a turquoise worldview as the world exists today. These individuals are greatly empowered through truth, yet at the end of the day, they're still people. It's important to stay grounded and not to get lost in conceptual loftiness. So that's spiral dynamics for you. The quality of a human being is not determined by their place in the spiral. A primal purple individual living a low consciousness, sheltered lifestyle could still have a less negative impact on our society than, say, an orange industrialist taking advantage of low foreign labor costs, essentially enslaving hundreds of underprivileged factory workers. Furthermore, one who has attained the highest levels of the spiral can still regress to the outward appearance of some prior stage due to laziness or outside pressure. To rush forward without properly evolving through the prior stages leaves one with a weak foundation and can prevent growth. You really got to master the stage you're in before moving on to the next. We can all be turquoise, given the right teachings and experience, and if we were, then the world would be a different place. Cooperation could happen automatically, crime could be ended, technology could be made free, waste minimized, advanced ecological strategies could be implemented, and more. I say could rather than would because reaching Tier 2 in the system does not guarantee goodness. It enables mankind to think at the highest level and can be seen as good only if we can agree on what is important and are creative and aware enough to navigate a complex world from a compassionate, objective, and holistic perspective. Additionally, there are many problems with models in general, and not just spiral dynamics. Models are rigid, uncompromising, and perhaps don't properly characterize their members completely. Keep in mind that people and organizations are very complex, multifaceted entities. They'll typically demonstrate characteristics which span across several stages. Another issue with models, such as spiral dynamics, is that they can create feelings of elitist, classist, egoic superiority, which are actually destructive to the mind. Still, if the model is used properly, it'll shed light on one's consciousness with a new level of depth. So I definitely want to thank you guys for following me through this Spiral Dynamics tour. I hope you're inspired to raise your consciousness and perhaps reach Tier 2. Once you're on Tier 2, you're going to find that everything in the world makes more sense. You have better context behind the events that you witness and behind the events that you hear about. Be sure to subscribe. Definitely click that bell. You don't want to miss a single episode.